Greetings, friends. Today I will show you how to create a complete video script in just a few minutes using this service. There are two ways to do this. We can do it either through a regular chat or using a storyboard. We'll go over both methods in this video. Let's get started. The first method is through the chat. Go to the chat section and here you'll find a text field where we'll enter our prompt. But before we start writing, I recommend that you select the text section here. And right here, we'll choose the model that we'll use to write the script. From my experience, the 3.0 Pro model works best. It's a bit more expensive than the others, but the results you get are much better than with the previous ones. But you can also try out other models because sometimes the simpler models deliver results that are just as good. It all depends on the tasks you set. This means that if you have something serious or complex, it's probably better to choose a more powerful model, like the 3.0 Pro. If you're doing something simple or just testing, you can go with a simpler model. Here, it's up to you to choose. If we hover over each of these models, we can see that it shows us the price for generation, and the price is indicated here. Take a look, 10 cents, then 40 cents per million tokens. What does this mean? It means that the first value shows us the price for outgoing requests, 10 cents per million tokens. An outgoing request is what we write as a prompt to it. When we receive a response from the neural network, we pay 40 cents per million tokens for that. Now, everyone has the question, what is a million tokens? I'll say, very roughly, really very roughly, that one token is approximately one word, but that's a very rough estimate. Accordingly, we pay 10 cents per million tokens when we ask a question, and 40 cents per million tokens when we receive a response. And here, the cost for each language model available is listed. We can roughly estimate for ourselves how much a particular generation will cost. Okay, let's choose 3.0 Pro. Next, in the text prompt, we need to write our task. It's important not to overcomplicate things. Just write as you would to a person, and the neural network will handle the rest. For example, we write, create a script for a 2-minute video about financial management, and then click send. Next, we wait while the response is being generated. Usually, this takes 20 to 30 seconds, and everything will be ready. Here is our response. Let's take a look. Here we can see that we've received an automatic structure with the script broken down into scenes, each with its own text. Here, our main character is specified, and we can see what is included in each scene. So we click on a scene, and a full window like this opens up for us. And what do we see here? We have a narrator, and there is text that will play in the background. We can review the prompt for generating the image, as well as the prompt for animating it. If something doesn't suit us, we can make our edits and adjustments to get the result we need. It's very important to carefully check the prompt for generating the image and the prompt for animating it. Once we've double-checked everything, we click Save and check the other scenes. In other words, we need to go through each scene and double-check, so we don't regret later that we're being charged extra credits for regenerations. After we've checked everything, we click Proceed to Creation, and now we move on to the next page. Here, we have settings that we need to fill out. We'll cover working with the storyboard in detail in the next lesson. I won't go into that much here. Here we're talking about how to create scripts. The most important thing is that we've now created a complete script and are fully ready to work with the storyboard. We did this through the chat. Now I suggest we create a script using the storyboard. Let's go to the storyboard section. Here we have a form where we need to briefly describe what kind of story, film, or cartoon we want to create together. So, in the text prompt here, we simply write a request like make a cartoon about Masha and the bear. Below that, we have style settings. Here we choose the style we need. There are different options here. There is a realistic style and there is a cartoon style. We choose what suits us. For our example, I will choose the cartoon style. Next, we select the duration our cartoon should be, and keep in mind that the longer your video is, the more credits you will spend because more scenes will need to be generated, more images will need to be created, and they will need to be animated. So, let me choose 1 minute. And when you do it, you choose according to the tasks you are creating for. Next is the voiceover language. We select which language it should be. Next, we choose the model, and as we already discussed, different models have different costs. And I want to repeat once again that you don't need to use the most expensive model right away. If you are just learning to use the platform, I recommend testing how different models work. First, try the cheapest ones. Test literally 1, 2, or 3 generations so you can understand the difference. Why? Because sometimes a cheaper model produces results that are no worse than those of more advanced models. So don't rush to use the most expensive models right away. Let's move on. Output mode. Depending on which mode we select here, that's the result we get. I've already covered what modes are available here in the first video. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you go and watch it carefully. Everything is explained there in detail. I won't dwell on that here. Here, we simply choose the mode we need. Once again, as a final check, we thoroughly verify everything. If everything is fine and we're satisfied, we click Create Scenario, and now we can see that our scenario is ready. We check it thoroughly and continue. We have our characters and we have all the information about our scenario. We can reread it and review it. If something doesn't suit us, we can edit it. Here is the information indicating the duration of each scene. And another important point, when you have generated the scenario, you shouldn't immediately click Proceed to Creation. You need to go through each scene and carefully review the prompt for the image and the prompt for the video, because many people mindlessly click Proceed to Creation, burn through tokens, and end up not getting the result they want. And then they complain, why did my credits burn out so quickly? Because you approached this irresponsibly, because you handed over all the initiative to artificial intelligence, relied on it, and it didn't meet your expectations in some areas. So to avoid this problem, we carefully read and thoroughly study each scene. And only when you are sure that everything suits you, only then do we move on to creation. This is a very important point. And when we click Proceed to Creation, we end up on a page where we have a complete storyboard with all our scenes. Here are all our scenes, our characters, the narrator, and all the settings that need to be selected. But we'll talk about that in the next lesson. That's all for today, friends. We'll say goodbye for now. See you next time. Bye.